welcome to the 4th episode of On the Spot. I'm Rich Gallup.
And I'm Ryan McDonald.
Lots of craziness going on right now, all around the Bay Area, all involved with the game industry. Ryan, yesterday, the Presidio, what did we see?
LucasArts, they had their Gamers Day. They do it, once a year. Basically, yesterday blew out. There are 5 big titles they're going to be having at the end of the year. They got Battlefront, Republic Commando, Mercenaries, all kinds of good stuff. You probably saw the page up. We already got developer interviews, screenshots, and all kinds of stuff. But for those of you that haven't seen it, we're going to be bringing you some excerpts from that, some of the best of the LucasArts Gamers Day.
Cool. Also, what's going on right now? It's pretty much the whole GameSpot team is down there except for us. Right. Redwood Shores, what's everyone seeing?
Right now, everybody's down at Redwood Shores checking out EA's Gamers Day. And that one is huge. EA, of course, as everybody knows, is not a small company. They're showing off 26
games?
26 games, that's right.
Dude.
So, yeah, and it's a very short window of time. So, if you want to get video, you want to get interviews, you want to get all the coverage that that we do on the site, you got to get in, you got to hit it hard, and so that's why all the GameSpot squad is basically down there right now getting stuff, and we already got stuff back. You probably saw on the site some GoldenEye stuff. But
yeah, tell us a little bit about GoldenEye, Rogue Agent. Now, I played GoldenEye for the Nintendo 64. I remember one night in college, me and 4 of my friends, we snuck into one of the screening rooms, hooked it up. We played it on like a 20-foot screen, split the 4. It was awesome. Yeah. What's Rogue Agent got?
Rogue Agent, of course, its big thing, of course, is now it's online. You can play multiplayer, PS2 and the Xbox. One of the interesting things, though, is they're not abandoning the whole split screen thing, which is crazy. I mean, you're talking 4 players on the PS2. They really knew that the whole 4-player split screen thing was a big part of GoldenEye. They definitely want to address that, and they're looking at how to make the game as fun as possible on the PS2 and the Xbox for not only online, but also for me and you sitting on a couch with 2 of our buddies.
That's cool. Now, the storyline for GoldenEye, it's a little strange. Like, how do they justify the GoldenEye name?
It's kind of crazy. It's like, of course, GoldenEye was about a satellite, the movie with
it's based on
James
the movie.
Bond. Yeah. The new one, basically now, you're this rogue agent, a bad James Bond, I guess. And he has a golden eye implanted in him that Goldfinger, I guess, gave to him. And
so wait, how come you're saying he's a Bond agent, but he was given an eye by Goldfinger? So I'm guessing things didn't work out too well between him and MI6.
No, they didn't go real far because he was a bad guy or whatever, so they kicked him out. But now he's got this cool golden eye that allows him to do different things, like, kind of like PsyOps. You'll be able to do like this kind of telekinesis push, and it does some other cool stuff, but you can activate the shield and kind of keep yourself protected. So that kind of adds a new, bit of gameplay to it. But from what we played and got to see so far, it seems like it's basically to be GoldenEye, true and true. And the one thing that's definitely true is the levels are huge. They really are blowing out these levels like super, super big. And there's all kinds of fun stuff. They do have some cinema stuff. Kind of moves along. Definitely feels like a James Bond game. But it looks like it's turning out pretty cool. The one interesting thing, if people remember from our E3 coverage, we weren't actually that excited after seeing it at E3. But the one thing that's definitely true is the guys that are working on it, they definitely took the feedback from E3, applied it, and now the frame rate, everything that a lot of people had problems with, it definitely does look a lot better, and it's looking like a game that people should be excited about.
So there's both cool multiplayer and cool single player, right?
That is true. Yeah, it's got a big, long single player campaign. If you remember GoldenEye, there was all kinds of fun stuff to unlock, lots of different challenges. They're basically trying to recreate that experience just bigger and better, and of course with today's next generation console graphics.
All right, cool. I think we're all looking forward to like that gang war between Dr. No and Goldfinger.
Yeah, totally.
Should be cool. And I think we have yes, we do. We have an interview with senior producer Chris Plummer.
That's correct.
Here's a clip.
My name's Chris Plummer. I'm the senior producer on GoldenEye Rogue Agent. So let me talk about some of the game mechanics that you're seeing in play here. So at the end of the day, it's a run-and-gun first-person shooter. So we have one of the big features that we added was dual weapons. So you'll see mix-and-match weapons, 2 of the same kind of weapons, reloading weapons independently at the same time. You can do everything. So basically the strategy is, do you want 2 guns? Do you want 1 gun and grenades? Do you want the big gun that takes both hands? And it's about managing what you're going to do with your hands. And of course, at any point in time, you can knock a guy silly, and that's what you're seeing, the melee mechanics. So you can kill a guy in 2 hits. The first hit will stun him. When he's stunned, he's vulnerable. You can take him as a hostage at that point. You can take that guy and throw him into other guys. You can throw him out the window or just hold him as a human shield. When you hold him as a human shield, he's literally sucking up the bullets that are coming at you. So there's a lot of fun gameplay there. So you find it, as a player, you want to grab guys and take them hostage because there's huge gameplay advantages to doing it, but it's hard to do. You got to get close to the guys. you're seeing the GoldenEye at play. So now you actually have the GoldenEye activated features, a couple of them. The magnetic shield, so if you get in a really tight spot, you might want to activate the shield. We also have the magnetic field that lets you throw guys around. So those are important parts of the mechanics. You're seeing a lot of crouch behavior, both on the AI and the player. So if you're not taking cover, you're definitely going to get killed in this game. So we teach you very early on to take cover. The AI will show you that you need to do that as well, because when they start doing it, you realize it's harder to kill them too. You're seeing mechanics with the death traps, or sort of the environmental hazards. So a lot of times there's machinery that you can interact with to kill guys, or activate something that can, cause somebody at the wrong place or wrong time to be engulfed in flames, for example, in this level. So those are some of the core mechanics that you're seeing throughout the game, and we're kind of excited to see it all coming together in a big mission like Hong Kong, which is split up actually into 4 different levels. It's pretty epic. Game's come along a long way since E3. We've been working a lot on optimizing frame rate, so there's huge advancements there. A lot of the special effects that we were showing, some of the gameplay feedback, the big particle impacts when you're shooting up walls and stuff, the stunt action physics when you're hitting guys with grenades or with rockets and stuff like that. We're really taking that over the top now. We finished up the melee system so that not only can you knock guys out really easily, but you can grab them, you can throw them out windows, you can throw them across the room, you can knock guys into other guys and have like knockdown effects and stuff. So we've gone really crazy on the stunt action physics, and it's added a lot to sort of the villainy of the game. So GoldenEye Rogue Agent will be out in time for Thanksgiving. It'll be on all the major platforms, PlayStation 2, Nintendo GameCube, and Xbox.
All right, thanks. That's a good, cool. That game does look cool. It looks really cool. All right, now Need for Speed Underground 2, another EA game.
Yeah, and we're getting the EA stuff out of the way. We'll catch up on Star Wars in a bit. But Need for Speed Underground 2, of course, if you played the first game, the game was all about giving you the illusion of speed, trying to make it feel like you're basically in the Fast and the Furious. You were in that universe, playing driving those cars. And I think for anybody that was a fan of the game, they'd agree that it is actually a pretty close representation of that. Need for Speed Underground 2, of course, they've got some pretty big shoes to fill. So they were trying to figure out what they're going to do, how they're going to change it up, how you really make a racing game evolve and get better. And they've actually, it looks like they've found one of the ways to do that, and that is, of course, freeing up the world. Instead of basically throwing you into a race, getting you basically on a mission, now they've opened the world up. They've kind of done what Spider-Man did. They've basically made the GTA version of it, which is an open, free world. So instead of just getting in a race, running down the track, you get 3rd place, and then the next race, it's actually a free roaming environment. You can drive around the city. The city's huge. I think they were talking in the original game they had like 25 miles of roadway. In this one they're saying like 125 miles.
So is this like a real city like they did Midnight Club, or is this just like some super made up city for cool races?
It's definitely a fictional city. It does have some real world things in it, like you'll see in the video. You'll see a Burger King flying by, and a few licensed things like that. So it's definitely, it doesn't feel like a fake place. It definitely feels like somewhere that you could be. And they've basically taken elements, like you'll see something that looks like a Sutro Tower, like here in San Francisco in the game. So there's lots of elements, and it feels like a place that you've been to, whether LA or San Francisco or a mix. It definitely feels like a cool place. But as far as the actual neat thing about the free roaming stuff, that's really where the game has a lot of power. Is the idea of just driving around and you see these cool circular little discs on the ground, and when you drive up to them, they're kind of basically your missions. Once you park on them, they tell you what they are, whether it's a rallycross race or a different event. But the cool thing is they have tons of different modes of stuff. There's even one part where you actually drive to a raceway. You actually drive to a physical track, and there you get to enter an event. So there's all kinds of fun stuff. Of course, they're going crazy with the parts again this year.
Right.
So if you want to customize your cars, I mean, it's crazy. They haven't shown us everything. It's still early in the day. So, but everything we've seen so far, it is really looking nice.
And they're bringing in some Hollywood talent, I guess, too, from the E! Network. Right. I don't watch it. My girlfriend does, but
yeah, Brooke Burke. Everybody, I think it's Wild on E is what Brooke Burke did. I don't watch it either. I see her every once in a while on the TV or the magazines, but she's going to be in there, and I guess she's going to be adding some star power to the Need for Speed Underground too.
And I think we have another interview for this game as well, don't we? With the associate producer, is it Greg Uhler?
Greg Uhler, yeah.
Greg Uhler, cool. And here's another clip.
I'm Greg Uhler. I'm one of the associate producers on Need for Speed Underground 2. This is the first time that we're really showing the game and giving people a hands-on time to play the game and experience what Underground 2 is all about. We also have a PC demo, as well as showing our Xbox Live this year for Underground 2. The first thing you'll notice is that you start the whole demo not in a menu screen, but right in the game, in the open world. So you'll probably be driving around exploring the open world and seeing what's in store for you as you uncover the tuner culture in the game. So the open world lets you explore a part of the city, about a fifth of the overall city that will be in the game, and find things like paint shops and car lots, some hidden shops that can increase the performance of your car, and also find a lot of events that are in the world. The world's pretty big this year. Last year we had about 25 miles of track, and this year in the big open city there's 125 miles of roads that you can drive on. So with 5 neighborhoods in different parts of the city, it's just an amazing, huge world to race within. Also this year we have a multi-car garage, so you need to decide what upgrades are you going to buy for which car. And then, so you're able to build out cars in whole different styles and actually be strategic about whether you really want those cool looking wheels or you want a turbo on your car. Speed Underground 2 is coming out in November on PS2, PC, Xbox, and GameCube.
All right, another cool game from EA.
All right, totally.
But yesterday, out in the Presidio, we hung out with LucasArts. We saw a bunch of games there, like
Republic Commando. Of course, that's the one that a lot of people are looking forward to at E3. It looked really good. People were calling it, is it, better than Halo? Everything we've seen so far does look like it's a really sharp game. The stuff they showed yesterday, of course, definitely looked cool. But I have to be honest with you, Battlefront's where I'm, all about. Star Wars Battlefront. Some people call it Star Wars Battlefield, because it has a lot of the elements that Battlefield 1942 series, of course, did, which is basically, first-person shooting with third-person vehicle action. And for me, that's where the action's at, online with a bunch of Star Wars people, blowing stuff up. The neat thing was they actually had a cool setup out at LucasArts yesterday, and they kind of made it up to be like the Endor Forest, and so they had some Ewoks, they had some people in some Stormtrooper outfits. They made it a really fun.
They had real Ewoks there?
No, not really
okay.
Ewoks, but they had
They had Stormtroopers.
They had Stormtroopers.
That's all you need.
Yeah, totally.
Sure.
Of course, they had Mercenaries. Mercenaries is the big cool game that they're pushing. That's not a Star Wars game. And from, we were excited about it at E3, and from what we saw yesterday, we're still excited about it.
So Mercenaries, it's like you're a mercenary being set in a conflict in North Korea, and you can fight the North Koreans, you can fight the Chinese army, and the Russian mafia.
Yeah, totally. They're going over the top, and the neat thing is you can pick the different characters, and the different characters, like the British agent, she's this female character who's super agile, super stealthy. She can get in and out, blow stuff up. She's kind of the solid snake of the crew. Then of course you got your main guy who's running in, gunning and stuff like that. So, but overall, as you can see from the video, it does look really cool, and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
See, from the video, I think we have an interview with Chris Susen of LucasArts, right?
That is correct.
All right, cool. Take it away, Chris.
My name is Chris Susen. I'm a Senior Marketing Coordinator at LucasArts, working on Mercenaries. Mercenaries is a brand new game at LucasArts, not a Star Wars game. There's been a coup in North Korea, and the militants have hijacked several nuclear warheads. All of the Alliance's diplomatic efforts have gone unanswered, and so they're getting desperate because the world is on the eve of a nuclear destruction. So they go to a private military company, which we now know are in Iraq. They go to a private military company and they say, listen, we need help, we'll pay whatever it takes. And the private military company says $100 million and we'll send a mercenary in to take care of it for you. When you start the game, you start in a Chinese camp, you can do a mission for the Chinese. Then you can run to the Russian mafia, you can do a mission for them. But each mission that you take on has consequences. For example, you take on a mission for the Russian mafia, they're going to love you. The next mission you take is going to give you even more money. It's going to give you something bigger and better. However, the South Koreans might start to become wary of you getting so chummy with the Russian mafia. So you have to decide how you want to play each side against each other. Mercenaries is coming to your household January 2005 for the Xbox and the PS2. Kick-ass game developed by Pandemic, published by LucasArts.
All right, cool. That's from Pandemic, right? Same guys. They did Full Spectrum Warrior, and they're working on Destroy All Humans.
That is correct.
That's quite the catalog of games there. A nice little portfolio.
They got all kinds of stuff going on.
But you were raving about Battlefront.
I was raving about Battlefront. I'm a big, Counter-Strike guy, Battlefield Vietnam. So for me, getting online with a bunch of people that are, stormtroopers and and Rebel, to me that is the game that I'm looking forward to. I have all the games they had there. Republic Commando, super cool, looks good. But for me, it's all about online PC shooters, and that's definitely what Battlefront's going to be all about.
So I don't know if you can answer this question, but I've been following the media, the screenshots, the stories, and everything for Battlefront, and I'm seeing some Episode 1 stuff, Naboo rolling around. I'm seeing some classic stuff, Endor, Hoth.
Right.
Can I take a battle droid and run over some Ewoks, or what?
You know, in a lot of first-person shooters, you can set it up however you want. So it depends on how the servers are all set up. But in all honesty, the executive producer who we shot it with an interview, Greg Borrud, yesterday, he actually explained some of that, and we should go to the clip and check that out.
We should.
Well, Star Wars Battlefront is a game that allows you, for really the first time, to get in and play as a grunt in the great battles of the Star Wars universe. So you can play a Stormtrooper, you can play a Rebel on the Battle of Endor. We've recreated all the great battles from really all 6 of the Star Wars movies. So you as a player jump into a battlefield as any one of a number of characters, and then what you want to do in that battlefield is completely up to you. It's both a single player and an online game, and in multiplayer you can get from 16 up to 32 players all fighting out these great battles. In single player, we've got a couple different options. One is the historical campaign. And the way the historical campaign is you select an era. I like the classic Star Wars, episodes 4, 5, or 6, or I like the new Star Wars, episodes 1, 2, or 3. And then you start the first movie in that series. Let's take classic Star Wars. I start with episode 4, and I start with Tatooine, and I fight through all the great battles leading up to the final, which is the Battle of Endor. So it's a very linear kind of historical campaign.
All right, lastly, going back to the last LucasArts game that we have another clip for, Republic Commando. Now, this is like the squad-based Star Wars game.
Right.
Looks really cool, first-person shooter. I'm seeing some Wookiees in there. What else we got?
Basically, you've got, you know, the Halo treatment, because it's a squad now, so you're commanding your squad, you're trying to go through, you're trying to, you know, blow stuff up. But basically, it's the whole squad element takes it a little further than even Halo did. You know, Halo was all about going through yourself, just taking out people. Now, of course, you know, the tagline I think for the game is, you know, the weapon is your squad. So being able to coordinate with your guys, having them help you figure out which ways, you know, they're going to go. It's still a first-person shooter at heart where you're going through and you're shooting people, but or I guess, you know, Star Wars robots and creatures. But you know, it's all about that squad-based element of the game, and they're trying to really play it up and make it so that you're not just blowing through the game, squeezing the trigger, that you actually have to think, you have to use a little strategy, figure out how best, you know, other games have tried to do that. Rainbow Six, one of the games that we talked about recently on the show, they had done some stuff with the squad-based stuff. But you know, in all honesty, I think everybody would agree that one of the things that we're all most excited about is just the fact that the game looks so beautiful. Everything that we've seen in person and on video, everything that game does look really, really nice, and I can't wait to get my hands on it.
What I kind of like is that the fact that right now it looks like a great done game, but it's not coming out until February.
Yeah, they want to add some polish to it.
Apparently, it's going to be a lot of polish, and I think one of the reasons for that is that it's serving as like a bridge between Episode 2 and Episode 3 for the movie, so they want it to come out a little closer when Episode 3 hits the theaters.
It's not a bad idea. Get everybody excited about Star Wars again.
And I think the game's director, Tim Longo, knows a little bit more about this than I do.
That is correct.
So let's toss it over to Tim.
The inspiration for Star Wars Republic Commando came from all over the place. Obviously, with the classic Star Wars films, they're always an inspiration for us. And we started there, but we wanted to, really the root of everything is we wanted to deliver a new experience. And something that we felt there was a big gap in the Star Wars sort of portfolio, if you will, was sort of the hardcore military shooter. From Episode 3, we have our tactic there is to bridge the gap between the two movies. The events that we portray in the movie are leading up to events that happen in the film. But we were able to introduce some characters that you'll see in the movie. In some levels, you'll be able to interact with those characters and even rescue them in certain situations. Obviously, Wookiees are in the game, and Wookiees are part of Episode 3. And I think everyone will be pretty excited by the new sort of vision that we have for Wookiees and that George has for Wookiees. Kashyyyk is in the new movie, and we're portraying that from our perspective again, darker, you know, sort of more military spin on that. Also, the leader of the Separatist army, which is General Grievous, who's been introduced in some other media, Star Wars media.
Positive ID on General Grievous.
Special appearances as well his bodyguards, who you'll actually interact with and have to fight, and they're sort of boss-like characters that are pretty intense, and it takes the whole squad to take one of these guys out type of thing, and they're pretty exciting characters too. So we're releasing in February of 2005. We want to use that time that affords us, though, to make what we have that much better. Often in the industry, we don't get that time, and we're lucky to get it this time. And so that'll include polish, tuning, balancing to make the experience just more cohesive and more kick-ass.
All right, we're back, and that's all the clips we have. That is, so those are only 5 games that we saw clips from, and there's, let's see, 26 from EA, another 5 or so from LucasArts. So there's 30 games, all new games, none out yet that everyone wants to know about.
That's right.
So check the site. We have a LucasArts page up. The EA one will be up any moment now, unless it's up right now.
Yeah.
There's tons of info rolling in. Just look for it. Send us some feedback, what you like, what you want to see more of. We're here for you.
And yeah, keep coming back throughout the night because the tapes are coming in. Those guys are still shooting. So all throughout the night, we're going to be posting stuff. So
pizza party for GameSpot Live tonight. That's what I'm talking about.
Definitely.
Speaking of feedback, questions and answers.
Yes, we got some questions last week.
Now we're going to mix it up a little bit this week. I'm going to be the one asking you the questions because since all of our team is running all over the state of California right now, we obviously, unfortunately, don't have any online gaming going on right now. We'll get that next week. And we don't have anyone else to ask questions. So I'm going to toss them to you, all right?
Excellent.
First is up from my man Miles from Sweden. His question starts with an exclamation, actually. Yo, I saw that there was a PAL demo, Burnout 3, on the internet. You guys know any more about this? Like if it'll hit any PS2 magazines in the near future? He spelled feature, anyways, Sweden. GameSpot is the best damn gaming place on the earth. And, Sweden's a really cool country.
Yeah,
so,
totally. Thank you,
question.
Miles. Yeah, to answer this question, it was funny because I saw this question come in, and just so happens we had some people down at EA, and so we were asking them if they were in fact going to have a Burnout 3 demo. And it's funny because you would think they'd just be able to be like, oh yes, we will have a Burnout 3 demo. But in fact, in the time that we got the question until now, we actually haven't gotten an answer yet. I was hoping to get it before we came on. But as far as we know, basically I would just keep on checking. I would just keep on, your eyes out. But the game comes out here pretty quick, so it might not have a demo since it is going to come out so fast. You usually see it at least 2 months or a month before the game ships, and we're getting close to within that month cycle. So if you don't see it now, good chance you might not going to see it. But either way, I'm going to tell you keep your eyes open and keep checking. And if we get word in before we go off the webcast, I'll definitely let you know.
And I got to tell you, I don't think you really need a demo to know that Burnout 3 is going to be an awesome game.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. All right, next question. Bill from Denver. Where can I buy the E3 DVD if I haven't ordered it yet?
That's a pretty good question.
Yeah, it's a great question. I'm a big fan of the E3 DVD.
I bet you know where
I know exactly where you can get the E3 DVD. I wrote a little game spotting about it last week. I sent a couple weeks ago. I sent you a bunch of links there. I'm going to tell you the the web address right now. www.gamespot.com/E3/DVD. That easy. You don't like going to GameSpot? You should. It's the best site out there. You can go to ebgames.com, find their DVD section. There should be a nice big graphic for it right there. $19.95 for everybody, $9.97 for complete members. That's $10 off. It's like 11 hours, 4 discs. Every game you want to see, you get it on your TV. Documentary, we told you all about it last week. If you don't have it yet, you should.
Is it still? Is it number 1 on the EB?
Oh, DVD? Totally. It's number 1 in the universe. You kidding me? The only thing that can contend with this is Muhammad Ali. It's that good a DVD.
And he's actually on the cover of the DVD.
He is. That's why I said it. You look. If you're gonna notice, you'll see Muhammad Ali. I'm there right next to him. So yeah, we're tight. Anyways, last question from Eric Kim in Los Angeles, California. When will CS Source be released, and are maps really going to be 10 times bigger? You are a huge Counter-Strike fan, if I heard correctly. Yeah. So you got to be pumped for CS Source.
Totally. I've been on the phone with Valve and being like, when am I going to get my CS Source? So, yeah, I know the answer to Eric's question. They won't give me, of course, a specific day, or anything like that, but I think it was our Crack News team. They did a great job. On July 7th, they reported that Valve was saying that, in fact, they were going to release CS Team for the Valve Cyber Cafe people. For those of you that don't know what the Valve Cyber Cafe...
I don't know what the Valve Cyber Cafe is.
It's a program that Valve has. There's lots of cyber cafes, but of course, to equip all those machines with games and everything, it does cost a lot of money.
Right.
So one of the things that Valve did is, if you got a cyber cafe and you want to hook up, if you got some Xboxes and you want to get some CS over there, they're gonna hook you up and they're gonna take care of you. Same thing they're doing with those people that are subscribers to that. You can actually, in all honesty, the first place you're going to see CS Source is in cyber cafes. So yes, that'd be the first place to go to check. They're going to get the first batch, and then Condition 0 people, the people that bought Condition 0, are going to be the second in the beta. So if you have Condition 0 or been thinking about getting it now, you're thinking you want to play some CS Source, one of the fastest ways you're going to be able to do that is to own Condition Zero. So I'm a Condition Zero owner, so whether or not Valve hooks me up into the beta directly, or I get it through the Condition Zero, or I go down to a cyber cafe, I got all my points staked out. I know where I'm going to be as soon as CS Source comes out.
So that's when the beta is coming out.
That's right.
And the final version, that's going to be shipped with Half-Life 2?
From all indications, that's what they're saying. They're saying that CS Source is actually going to be the Half-Life 2 multiplayer, the Counter-Strike 2 of sorts. But from everything that we've heard so far from Valve and some of the things that we're looking at, August is, whether it is going to ship in August or not, who can really say? But that's the date I'm looking for.
Cool. So Doom 3 just went gold.
Yes.
Half-Life 2 soon, maybe.
Yes.
Halo 2 in the fall.
It's crazy. It's going to be a crazy year.
Going to be some good games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some other stuff out there. Speaking of crazy games, I think that's about it. We have all the time we have for that's all the time we have for questions and answers right now. So
the one heads up we should give to the viewers is the fact that there's going to be, one of the biggest games and licenses in gaming is the WWE.
Oh, kids love the WWE.
Oh yeah, I love the WWE.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
The cool thing is we got some people coming in with Day of Reckoning.
Tomorrow, that's right.
That's
we
right.
got THQ coming by. My former employers are coming by
That's right, you
tomorrow
used to
with
test for those
WWE
guys,
Day. I did. And I believe we're going to want some more questions to ask them,
That's
and we'll
right.
show them on the show next week.
We tried to get them to come in, right in line for the live webcast so that they could take your questions live and direct. Unfortunately, with scheduling, they couldn't make it. So they're gonna come by tomorrow, which is Friday. That will not be webcasted live, but we do want you to submit questions for the WWE Day of Reckoning team. We'll get those. So if you're watching the show right now, you're watching it before tomorrow, which is Friday. Go ahead and send those questions in on the spot at GameSpot.com.
On the spot at GameSpot.com.
Yeah, totally.
Cool.
Or submit it right there, GameSpot Complete users, right there, the form that's on the page, and we'll get those questions to the WWE guys tomorrow, and we'll have that for you next week on the show.
I remember I got to go out to WrestleMania to see the game then. It looked awesome then. It's nice to see a Nintendo console getting another great wrestling game like in the No Mercy or WrestleMania 2000.
Yeah,
like that.
it should be a lot of fun. It looks pretty cool.
Cool. Anything else we can tease them about for next week? Or?
There's a couple things we have in the burner. I don't want to give anything away just yet because I don't want to disappoint anybody if it falls through. But yeah, we got some good stuff for next week.
Cool. And we'll bring back another stop on the Office tour. We'll bring back some online gaming. When you send us these emails with your questions, send us what you want to see. The show's live. We're changing it around. What do you want to see? We'll try to hook you up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all right, great. So I think that's the end of another show.
I think it is.
Great. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Rich Gallup.
I'm Ryan McDonald.
And we'll see you next week on the Spot.